Hi guys, I hope that you had a really super good weekend. We are back, we're ready to do some learning today, and we're going to start to learn about water. And I thought water was a really awesome thing to learn about because it's everywhere and we use it every day. Either you're drinking it every day, or what else can you do with water?
You take showers with it.
Take a shower, a bath with the water. You drink the water. What happens outside sometimes?
Sometimes it rains.
It rains, that's water, or snows, that's water that's frozen, right? There's water all over the place. We live by a lake. Milwaukee's by a big lake, Lake Michigan. That's big water. Ocean is full of water, so water is literally everywhere. You can wash dishes with water, you can wash your car with water, you can play with water. There's so many things. So I thought today we would do an experiment because we really like to do experiments, don't we? And remember, an experiment is when you do something and then you watch and see what happens. So today we collected a whole bunch of things around our house, and you can do the same thing in your house. And then we got a bucket of water, and we're gonna put these things inside the bucket of water, and we're gonna watch and see what happens. We're gonna watch and see which objects sink, which means they go all the way down to the bottom, and which objects float, which means they kind of stay up on the top. So before we put them in, we're gonna try and guess. Can you guys say guess?
Yes.
That's a very scientific word. It means you're very smart if you can say guess, because we're going to guess and see whether we think it's going to sink or whether we think it's going to float, and then we'll put it in and watch it. Okay? Are you guys ready? All right, so here's what we're going to do. Paige, pick an object, any object. What do you want to see first?
The spoon.
Paige, pick the spoon. Paige, can you guess what is going to happen to the spoon? Do you think it's going to sink to the bottom or float on the top?
I think it's going to sink.
Paige thinks the spoon is going to sink. What do you guys think is going to happen with the spoon? Okay, did you make your guess? All right, should we see? Paige, can you drop it in the water?
Yep.
Okay, drop it in and let's see what happens. What happened, guys?
It sinked.
It sunk. It sunk to the bottom. The spoon sunk to the bottom. All right, now I'm going to pick an object. I want to see, what the marker's going to do. I think the marker is going to float. What do you think?
I think it's going to float.
You think it's going to float? What do you guys think at home? Do you think the marker's going to sink or float? Should we see? Were we right? We were totally right. The marker stays on the top of the water. It floats. It does not sink to the very bottom. Let's do a couple more. Paige, you pick another one.
I'll do the cotton ball.
What do you think? Can you guess what's going to happen with the cotton ball?
I think it's going to float.
You think it's going to float? Okay, let's see. Hold on. What do you guys think at home? Do you think the cotton ball is going to sink or float? Did you make your guess? Okay, go for it, Paige. What happened?
It started to float first, but then it sunk.
That's interesting. It started on the top of the water floating, and then it sunk. Why do you think that happened?
I actually don't know.
That's so interesting. So the spoon sunk. Remember, it went to the bottom. Why do you think that spoon sunk, Paige?
Because it had a lot of weight on it.
It's heavy, right? It's heavy, and there's not a lot of air in the spoon, so there's nothing to hold it up. Do you know why you float in a swimming pool?
Because we have air.
You have air in your body, so that air kind of holds you up on top of the water. The spoon doesn't have any air, and it's pretty heavy, so it goes straight to the bottom. This marker is pretty light, and it must have some air in it so that it can stay at the top. What happened to this cotton ball, do you think? It started off
really light, but
light?
once it gets in the water, it might be a little bit more heavy.
Why? Why does it get heavy once it's in the water?
Because it kind of like all forms together and it gets all like hard.
It soaks up the water, guys. That cotton ball soaked up the water, and that water made it heavy. Boop! And it sunk. Isn't that cool? We didn't know that was going to happen, did we? All right, I'm going to try the scissors. I think the scissors are going to sink. They look like they're pretty heavy. They feel like they're pretty heavy. My guess is that they sink. What is your guess at home? Do you think my scissors are gonna sink or float? Are you guys ready? Oh! What happened?
They sunk.
They sunk. It was pretty heavy. Okay, pick one. We'll do a couple more. We'll do 2 more. Can you pick one more?
I'm gonna do the popsicle stick.
Okay, what do you think is gonna happen to the popsicle stick?
I think it's going to float.
Ooh, she thinks it's going to float. Why do you think that the popsicle stick will float?
Because like the spoon, it's not too heavy, but it has a little weight to it. And maybe since it's like a flat surface, I can't say it, flat surface, it might like stay on top of the water.
Okay, let's see. Was she right? It floated. It's a pretty light and it has air in it, so it stays on the very top of the water. All right, I'm gonna try the rock. Guys at home, take a guess. What do you think? My rock is pretty heavy. Do you think it's gonna sink or do you think it will float on the top? What do you think, Paige?
I
What's your
think it's
guess?
gonna sink because it's really, really heavy.
Okay, let's see. Here we go. Here goes the rock. What happened?
It sunk.
It sunk to the bottom. That rock was pretty heavy. Went all the way down. Okay, you want to do one more?
Can I do this one?
Sure, the puzzle piece?
Mhm.
That's a puzzle piece. What do you think? What's your guess?
I think it's gonna float like the popsicle stick.
Okay, let's see. What happened to the puzzle piece?
It float.
It floated. The puzzle piece is on the top of the water. I want to just do one more. I really want to see what happens to this penny. We found a penny in our house, and I want to see if the penny sinks or floats. What's your guess, Paige?
I think it might sink.
You think it will sink? I think this penny is going to float. Should we see?
Mhm.
What is your guess at home, guys? You think the penny will sink or float? Okay, let's see. What happened to the penny?
It sunk.
It sunk. You were right. It must have been heavy enough to go to the bottom. It couldn't stay on the top and float. So we found some other things. We're not going to do them, but we took a tissue and a Q-tip and a clothespin and a Lego
and a
button. And you could try different things at home. You could do it in the bathtub. You could do it in your sink. Or if you have a plastic container like a Geveret Fladwood, you could fill it up with water and do this. Do the same thing that Geveret Fladwood's doing. You could try and do something outside. If your grown-up in your house does not want you to do it inside, that's okay. You could do it in your kitchen. You could do it out in your backyard. You could do it in your bathroom. But you could find things around your house and see whether they sink or float. Another thing you could do is you could make a chart. You could write sink on one side of the chart. You could write float on the other side of the chart. And then you could make a line down the middle, and then you could see what sinks or floats. You could take them out and put them on the paper. You could try to draw them. You could try to have a grown-up help you write the words of the objects that you find. And then you have to see which side has more, the sink side or the float side. What objects were more, the sink or the float? So that's something that you could do too at home, and you could have a really good time with this experiment. So I hope that you guys have a really great day doing whatever it is that you do, whether you take a walk or you go outside and play, whether you play with something in your house that you love to play with. I hope that whatever you do today is great. You too, Paigey?
Mhm.
Yeah. All right. See you later, guys.
Bye.
Bye.